Welcome to this explainer. We usually think of our stomach as just a simple processing tank, right? Food goes in, energy comes out, end of story. But looking at the latest medical research, it turns out we've actually had this power dynamic completely backwards. We're looking at a highly complex, bustling ecosystem that dictates not just how you digest your lunch, but how you feel, how you think, and how your entire immune system functions. So if you've ever felt like your body is just sending you mixed signals that you can't quite figure out, well, we're going to unpack exactly why that's happening today. Let's start things off with this incredibly provocative quote from Dr. Alok Chopra. I found this absolutely fascinating because, we always hear the phrase trust your gut, but Chopra argues your gut is actually the one calling the shots. The reality here is that it's communicating with your brain constantly through the gut-brain axis, and it's sending way more messages up to the brain than the brain sends down. Your brain is literally just trying to keep pace with all the chemical signals being generated right there in your digestive tract. To understand how this works, we first need to look at the microbiome itself. Just imagine your gut as a thriving internal rainforest, right? It's home to trillions of microorganisms. Now, when you're healthy, these microbes live in total harmony, breaking down food and protecting your gut lining. But when we introduce things like high stress, poor sleep, or a highly processed diet, that ecosystem gets polluted. This leads to what we call dysbiosis. Basically, the good, helpful bacteria die off, and the inflammatory bad bacteria take over and just run totally rampant. Look at this number for a second. 70%. That is a staggering figure. 70% of your immune cells reside right in your digestive tract. When you think about fighting off a cold, you probably think about, chugging some vitamin C or getting some extra rest. But the actual front lines of your immune defense, they're stationed right there in your gut. A healthy microbiome maintains the barrier that keeps harmful germs out. So when dysbiosis occurs, your body's natural defenses are severely compromised. So what exactly happens when this whole ecosystem goes rogue? Well, when those bad bacteria take over, they don't just stay quietly in your stomach. No, they escape. They ferment food excessively, they create massive amounts of inflammation, and they release byproducts that travel throughout your bloodstream. A problem in your gut rarely stays in your gut. Instead, it essentially pulls a systemic fire alarm, creating widespread dysfunction that most people would never even associate with digestion. Because of this, you might experience some really surprising signs that seem completely unrelated, like feeling constantly exhausted even after a full night of sleep, or having these intense, almost uncontrollable sugar cravings. We often blame a busy lifestyle or a lack of willpower for these issues, right? You might think, oh, I'm just working too hard, or I just really have a sweet tooth. But diving into the research reveals something pretty wild. These might not be character flaws at all, but direct distress signals from an unbalanced microbiome begging you for attention. And here is where it gets absolutely crazy. Bad bacteria actually thrive on processed sugars, so they send signals through your nervous system literally demanding that you eat more of it. They're essentially mind-controlling your cravings just so they can multiply. And at the exact same time, the inflammation they cause damages your gut lining, which makes it incredibly difficult for your body to absorb crucial energy-boosting nutrients, things like vitamin B12 and iron. So you are left feeling completely drained and exhausted, while the bad bacteria are down there having a feast. Or consider this unexpected symptom, chronic bad breath, or halitosis, that just won't go away no matter how many mints you eat or how much you brush. We've all been there, assuming bad breath is purely a dental hygiene issue. But if you're brushing, flossing, using mouthwash, doing the whole shebang, and you still can't shake that terrible taste or smell, well, the problem might not be in your mouth at all. The real culprit might be much further down. Those bad odors might actually be gases produced by fermenting food and bacterial overgrowth deep within your digestive system. See, when your gut struggles to break down food due to an imbalance, that food ferments excessively. This produces a massive amount of gas that doesn't just cause bloating. These specific, foul-smelling gases actually travel upward through your digestive tract and taint the very odor of your breath. So treating this symptom with a breath mint, it's basically like putting a Band-Aid on a fire alarm. And it's not just physical symptoms either. An astonishing 90% of your body's serotonin, that's the happy chemical, is synthesized right in the gut. This completely changes how we view mental health and cognitive focus. Your gut microbes are actively involved in producing key neurotransmitters. So if your gut flora is overrun by bad bacteria, your serotonin production just plummets. This is exactly why poor gut health is so frequently linked to unexplained mood swings, high stress, and that profound brain fog that makes it so incredibly hard to concentrate on anything.
Now, if you suddenly find you can't eat dairy or gluten, you might automatically assume you've developed a permanent food allergy. But the research makes a really crucial distinction between a true immune system allergy and a temporary food intolerance driven by a struggling digestive system. A true allergy is your body treating the food as a dangerous invader. An intolerance, on the other hand, happens when your microbiome is out of balance and your gut simply lacks the specific enzymes needed to break down those foods, which leads to intense bloating and pain hours after eating.
This intolerance often happens because dysbiosis creates what's called leaky gut syndrome. Your intestinal wall is supposed to be this tight, secure barrier, allowing only nutrients to pass while keeping the garbage out. But chronic inflammation breaks down those tight junctions. The gut literally becomes leaky. Suddenly, partially digested food particles and toxins are slipping right into your bloodstream. Your immune system spots these escapees, hits the panic button, and launches a massive, urgent inflammatory response to hunt them down. And that systemic inflammation, it often escapes through the body's largest organ, linking a leaky gut directly to skin issues like acne and eczema through the gut-skin axis. This is exactly why those super expensive creams and topical treatments so often fail. They're only treating the surface. When your body tries to eliminate internal inflammation, it frequently pushes it right out through the skin, driving severe breakouts and redness. It's pretty simple when you think about it. Heal the gut, heal the skin. But hey, the good news is this is all reversible. It really comes down to a simple strategy: starving the bad guys and feeding the good guys. That means cutting back on processed sugars and artificial sweeteners, which act like straight-up fertilizer for harmful bacteria, along with fried foods and alcohol that damage your intestinal lining. On the flip side, you want to load up on your repair kit. Fiber-rich vegetables act as prebiotics, literally food for your good bacteria, while fermented foods like kefir and sauerkraut introduce rich, healthy probiotics straight into your digestive system to restore order. Beyond just diet, the research highlights 3 critical lifestyle shifts to allow your gut lining to actually repair itself overnight, because frankly, you cannot out-eat a highly stressful, sleep-deprived lifestyle. Step 1 is staying hydrated to keep things moving and prevent gas buildup. Step 2 is managing stress, because chronic cortisol physically slows down digestion and alters your gut bacteria. And step 3, prioritizing adequate sleep. It is during deep sleep that your body actually does the heavy lifting to repair that damaged gut lining. So, as we wrap up this explainer today, I want to leave you with this final thought. The next time your body sounds the alarm, are you going to just patch up the symptom, or will you fix the ecosystem within? We've seen how everything from your energy levels and your mood to your immune system and your skin are all completely tethered to the trillions of microorganisms living in your digestive tract. It's time to stop ignoring the distress signals like chronic bloating or constant fatigue. Your gut is your first brain, and it is constantly talking to you. The only question is, are you ready to listen?